Hello, happy Friday. Are you ready to go strolling through the orchids? I know I am. I have so much to show you guys. So what we are going to look at today, yes, we are going to look at her, but let's just roll around here. We're going to look at this shelf right here and this little area because there is a lot going on over here. And most of it I can show you without taking it off the shelf. However, our yellow king over here, again, let me move gently so I don't make anyone dizzy. The yellow king, look at all the growth. So we're going to start, let me just turn her this way. So we have 2 there. And then there's 3, 4, 5, which this one, not sure if it is going to carry on or not, but we're going to count it for now, 5. And then 1 that is a little bit further along than the rest of them, 6. So this one has 6 new growths coming along, and it is definitely pulling on the reserves of those pseudobulbs. Look how crinkly they are. But I'm hoping that, especially since this one is a little more advanced, that it starts producing some roots. She does have roots in the pot, but I did let her dry out quite a bit the last couple of weeks. Actually, I forgot to water her. So fortunately, though, this one is not showing any signs of constantining. So fingers crossed that that continues to grow and that the other 4, like I said, maybe that one over there is not going to make it, but I'm excited. And wouldn't it be awesome if they all bloomed at the same time? Even though waiting on those spikes to finish take forever. And this leaf that you see, this is off of one of her older growths that she's senescing. So it'll be coming off pretty soon. It's almost done. Now, let's get back over here. My Hawaiian treat is still working on her latest new growths, and as you can see, she has another one coming right there. And I thought I saw another swelling somewhere else, I believe right in here, but we'll just have to wait and see on that. And the little stars, Brassavola little stars has, let's just take her off the mount real quick, we can, without tearing anything up. Look at all the new growths on that one with all the new roots. Just loving that. She's getting stronger and stronger. Had her for a couple of years now. I did have another piece of her in a pot that did not do well. And then this twinkle here, this is the Jurok Fern Brown, Super Brown. I think I'm going to take her off this mount because do you see that new growth? Like it's not progressing, and then that one there didn't progress. She's got another couple back here. I don't think I'm keeping up with her watering needs now that she's a little bit more established, more growth. I don't know yet. Haven't decided. I'm going to wait another month or so and see what happens, but I might need to take her off of her mount and put her in a pot. And then the 3 Phalaenopsis, let me take that zoom back out. The 3 Phalaenopsis, so she just finished this leaf, and as you can see, she has another leaf coming, as well as some root growth on, let's see if we can move that out of the way. She's got some coming in there. This one here is finishing off this leaf. I don't see any new root growth on her quite yet. And then this one finished this leaf and is working on this one. And she does have a little bit of active root growth coming off of her. And I may have to replace the moss on this one because this moss has been on here for about 2 years. And it's a really thin layer, so I'm having to water her a little more often than I'd like. And my Maxillaria tenafolia here is doing fantastical. Let's see if I can do this without shaking too much. But let me just take it out of here and show you. Look at all those beautiful roots coming in. So it is in all moss with bark at the bottom, and then those are just some pumice stone at the top. And those new growths are just really taken off. I'm so excited for those. And I wanted to show you guys, this is, they call it the red flame. The flowers, these are, I mean, they're going over. They look like this with just yellow. Very unimpressive if you ask me. I love it when the flowers spike, because this is actually the flower spike. That bright red, that's what I like. But more importantly, look how much the pup has grown in the last couple of weeks since we looked at it last. I'm excited, and she's already starting to absorb her lower leaves. So as this flower spike continues to die off, the mother plant will continue to die as she puts all her energy into her pup. I'm hoping for a second one so I can have two, but that's being a little greedy, I think. But, you know, we always want more, don't we? All right, and then my sweet memory here. Look at that leaf, just getting fatter and fatter. And as you can see, there's a different cardboard setup here because she was insisting on still growing out from underneath the other cardboard setup that I had. So I put this one here, hoping that she will come into this direction of light. And so far, she's following directions. But let's just look. She looks like starting to swell. Well, let's see if I can get it to focus. There we go. Looks like she's getting ready to start swelling a nice little bud there. So maybe in the next few months, we'll get us a sweet memory bloom. But let's just take a quickie peeky over here. Let me zoom in. Let me get it in the right angle. Need to move this little split leaf, and do you see what I see? We've got a cherry baby spike right there on the tip of my finger. So this leaf actually was stuck right in here. So I just opened it up to allow that spike. Let's see if I can get back to it. There we go. If I can get that spike to go ahead and grow so it doesn't, you know, get all wanky and everything. I'm excited about that. Also, told y'all there was a lot going on over here. If I can find it. Where is it? There it is. Let's see, can we get in and around? Maybe. I may have to take her out too. I'm trying not to because she's kind of heavy because I did just fill her reservoir. But she has two growths back there. One that she was already working on, and then a second one that's kind of right there. I'll take a picture of it and post it on the screen for you guys. And then, of course, we've got the No ID Oncidium from Trader Joe's, just pushing out all kinds of new growth. And I am going to have to remember to make sure to water her more often than I've been, because you can see a lot of constantining on a lot of the leaves, especially a lot of this newer growth. It's just not getting enough moisture. But let's start back up at the top here. So this one is the Snowbird, I believe. Let's see, where's my name tag? Yes, the Snowbird Sweet Spots that recently got repotted in here. And when I repotted it, I thought a snap. I thought I had broken this new growth right here. Didn't realize it was there, but she's carrying on because it was really tiny at one point, obviously as new growths are. But this growth back here, which was producing the roots, is why I repotted, is continuing to just get nice and large. Loving it. I may have to take this little bract off so the roots will go down and not up. But she is in a Orchiata Bark, perlite, and chopped up moss mix because she was in pretty much all moss when I purchased her. And that little pseudo bulb is kind of shriveling a little bit, but hopefully she'll plump up soon. My antelope Dendrobium back here, do you see how this new growth kind of started growing that way? Well, she used to sit where Hibiki sits, and there used to be a light right up there. Didn't notice it, and she started growing towards the light. So another plant with a characteristic unique to her. But look at Hibiki. Look at all the growth. Look at that. I am just loving how wild she's looking. I can't wait for her to get full and bushy and then have all those beautiful pink blooms. Just looking forward to that. Princess Scary is still working on her little candlestick back here. And I am being very careful not to overwater her because I believe that's what I've been doing and why I've lost the growth, not maturing fully. Aha. And our Encyclia here, which, let's just look at her blooms, which will be cut after this video because if we look down into the pot, do you see? We have a lovely new growth, and I want her to start concentrating on that. So spike will be cut. Here we have the lunar eclipse. I believe it's a Bolera. Yeah, Bolera Isabella lunar eclipse that is beginning to mature these two back growths right here. And if you still see orange on my hands, guys, I still haven't been able to get all of the iodine off, so we will just deal with it. My Red Fantasy, again, I will need to make sure to water her a little more often because a lot of the newer growth does have this constantining on it. But she has about 4 new growths. She's got another one peeking out here. So eventually she will rebloom for me. The Miltassia new growth back there is coming right along. Let's see if we can tip down there. Just coming right along. And then as well as the Brasidium, which looks like it's going to grow normal. I'm not sure what happened with this one here because she only made 2 leaves and then pushed out this growth here. So I'm not sure what I did to cause that, but that's neither here nor there. And then my Dendrobium spectabula that I got from the Orchid Supply Store, which again, remember, you can go to orchidsupply.store.com, purchase plants, purchase media, purchase pots, and if you want 12% off, use coupon code TRISH at checkout, and that is on everything, free shipping, and it is a multi-use code. Great news on this is, I believe, we have another little growth popping up right there. Then my Oncidium Twinkle Pink Profusion, which is supposed to be variegated, and you can see a little bit of the variegation, is continuing to really push that growth right there. And I don't see any new growth on her yet, but the fact that she's still continuing to grow, that is amazing. Catletonia, why not? Remember I said I thought we had us a nice new growth coming. Well, let me put her down because I can just see me dropping that. Look at that. Look at that lovely growth just popping right on up. And as you can see from the tag, I've had her since January of 2022. And she did come in spike and bloomed, but she's also putting out lovely new roots. So if you want to get this lady, and if she doesn't have a lot of roots, but you see a new growth coming, I noticed that she does start growing roots from the new growth as she is developing. So she's not one where she finishes her growth, blooms, and then roots. Here we have the mini purple variation Karula crossed with blue Hawaii. That is getting a stonker of a growth right there. And she is still have some roots in her pot. And then let me get back out of here. And then the seedling Potnera Dick Smith, let me just turn it around as well, has the lovely new growth coming right there. If you can kind of see it right there. And I still think there's something going on right here. But the fact that she finished that growth, working on a new growth and producing more roots, I am happy with that. And then of course my Ungracum here is just working on her leaf, loving life. Still don't see any roots growing from the base. They're all just root tips growing. So not complaining, but I'd like to see some new roots as well. And then this is the Dendrobium Silver Wings crossed with Nita, also from the Orchid Supply Store. And her latest growth, which is this one here, look how big that is. It is almost Now the leaves are a lot longer, not quite as thick, but it's almost as long as the previous growth. So I'm pretty excited that that happened. I doubt she'll bloom. There is something in there, looks like trying to form, but the fact that she finished this growth, that's what I'm waiting for. And she does have a teeny tiny new growth down in the bottom of the pot, but I don't want to move her because I'm afraid it will drop her. And then I'm watering the twinkle last night, and do you see it? It's literally in our face, right here. We have a spike. I did not even notice that. I could have knocked that over and not been paying attention. So now I have to be very conscious that there is a spike there. Of course, it'll be months and months and months before we see any blooms, but the fact that she suffered a little bit and still pushed out a spike, pretty proud of her. The royal chip is still loving her life back here. It is still in lovely bloom. And that new growth is really pushing out. And she has, let's see if we can get in there. Because, see, let's go on a growth hunt. She has another two back here somewhere. There's one. And then the other one is behind this little cluster here. You can kind of see it right at the tip of my finger. Again, I don't trust myself to pick too many things up. Did just get my bandage off yesterday and my stitches taken out. So it is still a little tender. And then this is the snowflake Latoria Dendrobium right here. That is pushing out another new growth. And then this one here is going up. And yes, I am using my little Velcro to train it to go up and not out. My Nobly back here is starting to drop the leaves from this back cane. That growth right there on the right is taking off pretty good. The one on the left is doing well. And then the little cakey on the other side is continuing to grow as well. Now, my Phalaenopsis back here, again, not doing anything, but she's not dying either, so that is a plus. Now, this is the other twinkle that I have down here, and once I saw the spike on the little small one, of course, you know, I go looking for more spikes on this one, and of course, I don't see any, but you know, I didn't see the other one either because they're so thin. So there is that possibility, but again, she got a little dried out. You can see all the constantining. Really need to be more diligent on watering her. And Miss Chocolate Chip here still has this cluster of blooms, which are starting to go over. As you can see, it's starting to fade here in the middle, but we do have the one little straggler here coming by. So she also has, let's see if I can see, where is it? Up there it is. Y'all probably saw it before I did. But we do have a new growth coming as well. So that is not too shabby. And this one here is one of the ones that I got from Ken, the Dendrobium Hawaiian Stripes. So I'm fairly confident that this back one is going to be okay because you can see it is doing another leaf there. This one in the front, not sure if it's going to make it or not, but you know what? We will work on it. And then Roy Taganagua, still nothing going on with him either. Of all the things going on over here, he's like, nah, just going to sit here and chill. And then, go over here. My Bobophyllum is just not loving life in my home. It just doesn't like it. So I may end up putting him into just a really small, like, seedling pot with just a little bit of moss and bark and see what happens. I just know for future I can't grow Bobophyllum. And then this is a no ID Phalaenopsis, I call Harlequin, that is working now on these leaves. And these leaves used to be like a really deep, deep green. And since she's been getting more light, again, you can tell that they lighten up. And look at the terranium. Look at that lovely new growth on that. And then those back there are just doing really fantabulous. And look how big the leaves on this Hariella retricala are getting. Like she's just like spreading her wings. She almost looks like a little mini Vanda in there. And looks like there's a new leaf growth. So once she's a little more comfortable, I expect her to start shooting out those blooms like the other two. Because the first one I got did take a while to establish herself. But then eventually she just got settled in and decided that she was going to keep shooting out blooms. So that is what we have going on today, Saturday, June the 2nd, I believe it is, here in our lovely living room in Denver, Colorado. And just as a last look at our encyclia blooms, I mean, they're so pretty. They really are pretty. But she does have that new growth coming, so we will need to allow her to focus on that. Guys, I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next one.